Let's move across our borders now. It was announced yesterday that Zimbabweans will go to the polls in 2 months' time on the 30th of July. This, of course, will test the popularity of President Emmerson Mnangagwa, who rose to power following a soft coup in the country. And it will be the first time since liberation that former President Robert Mugabe won't be on the ballot papers. Tonight, we're focusing on a smaller party. We're joined by Dr. Nkosana Moyo, who is a former Minister of Industry in Zimbabwe and wants to run for president now as the head of the Alliance for People's Agenda, the APA. Thank you for being with us, Dr. Moyo.
Thank you very much, Francis.
You were in government. You reportedly left because you didn't like what was going on within ZANU-PF, 2011, I think. Take us back to what happened.
2001.
2001, forgive me.
Yeah. No, what was going on, as you might realize, that was the height of the land issues, which I actually agreed with in principle in terms of land yet to be redistributed, but it was the manner in which it was done. Because the way it was done was literally legitimizing state violence. And I just didn't think that was right, because after the land is redistributed, you have to build a country where citizens comply with the law. But if the state is the one that leads in citizens being encouraged to break the law, then you are onto...
Dead in the water.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's what I disagreed with.
Well, Robert Mugabe, as president, called you a coward, so no love lost between you two.
Well, I mean, he's a politician, so I understood it in that context, and I didn't get vexed about it.
Since there's been a change of leadership, have you ever thought of rejoining ZANU-PF?
Firstly, I was never a member of ZANU. I was invited into cabinet as an independent person. Okay. So at that point, we were called technocrats.
As an economist, so they wanted your financial knowledge.
They wanted, in fact, out of cabinet, there were about 8 of us who got in through a provision in the constitution where you could get on to be a member of cabinet without having been elected. Okay. I got in through that mechanism. Okay. As a non-ZANU person, but whose technical competence was valued by even the people who were not my friends.
Yeah. I'm interested what you say, that you agreed with land reform. What do you think South Africa right now, talking about expropriation without compensation, what should we do? What can we learn from what Zimbabwe went through then?
Implementation is important. So the concept is okay, because at the end of the day, if the citizens of the country are not invested at a very personal level in what goes on in the economy, they are not going to work to support it. They are going to work to destroy it and lose nothing. So one has to understand, it's almost like the concept of insurance.
So you mean understand the value of
absolutely,
everything.
Of sharing the assets of the country, the resources of the country, with the citizens of the country, so that they've got something to lose when things are not working. If the majority of the people are sitting in the sidelines and only a few have got all of the resources, then that majority is going to revolt. And that's what revolutions are made of. So you have to create an investedness by the majority of the people in order for them to protect what is going on.
So you mean we've got to redistribute land very quickly? What about people who may not have a land claim, but they're unemployed, they're not invested in the economy at all?
Well, I think the principle of what I'm saying is you have to make sure that your citizens see value in being South African. You have to look at that in all its dimensions. And resources is just one component of it. If they don't see value in belonging to your club, either they will form their own club or persuade you to change the rules. That's really what I'm saying.
Okay, so what are you offering under the banner of the Alliance for People's Agenda, APA, to Zimbabweans?
Well, I suppose the way I engage with my citizens is to say, firstly, we can all agree actually with what is broken in Zimbabwe. There are a few things. The economy is not working, and everybody knows, because we've got over 90% unemployment, which means industry is closed or closing at a very fast rate. There is no unity in Zimbabwe. As you probably understand, people have been factionalized into tribes and regions and so on, so that has to be fixed. So we have to go back to basics and accept that Zimbabwe was destroyed by us Zimbabweans, not by foreigners. And therefore, to correct that, you have to go back to looking at things like corruption. Corruption has to be rooted out of our country. We have to create an environment where investors will feel that their investments in Zimbabwe are safe. Because otherwise, why would they come there? They will look for other options. So if we fix those things, create an environment that is conducive, remove corruption, in my opinion, another biggie is nepotism, cronyism, or patronage. Because that leads directly into a system that does not recognize performance management, because you put people who are not qualified into jobs. That's why all the parastatals are in trouble.
So this was announced yesterday. It's in 2 months' time. Have you met the criteria to be on the ballot papers? How's it all working now? And how do you gauge your chances against Emmerson Mnangagwa, ZANU-PF still so entrenched, a young leader, MDC also pretty strong?
Well, firstly, I meet the criteria. As Nkosana Moyo and as APA, we meet all the criteria for participation in the elections. Secondly, our chances are actually very high because, as I said, every single Zimbabwean has suffered from what has happened in the economic meltdown. So every single Zimbabwean family is looking for a solution because their children, highly educated, are selling airtime on the side of the roads. And everybody doesn't want that. So people are looking for a solution. People are ready for a different solution.
All right, well, thank you for laying out yours. Very interesting. That was former Zimbabwe Minister of Industry and International Trade, Dr. Nkosana Moyo. Now an opposition leader saying that they have a chance, the APA, one of the smaller parties in Zimbabwe. Thank you for being with us. That's where SABC's Primetime News ends. I say good night. See you same time, same place tomorrow. Bye.